This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety. So go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.
You are listening to Beyond the Wheel, a podcast about the people and ideas that drive the RV community forward.
On today's show, we are joined by Jamie, Director of Specialty Vehicles and Advanced Technology for Winnebago Industries. Jamie is going to chat with us about how and why Winnebago Industries is now offering accessibility-enhanced vehicles as dealer stock. Sean and I love these accessibility-enhanced vehicles because they are able to get more people out to enjoy all that the RV lifestyle has to offer.
Hi, Jamie. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became involved with the accessibility enhanced RVs from Winnebago?
Sure. Hey, thanks guys for having me on your podcast. This is fantastic. It's a pleasure to get heard through your venue. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So I've been with Winnebago approximately 5 years, and I've been with the specialty vehicle division since I came on board. And our goal in the specialty vehicle division is to create custom vehicles to fit certain applications. At one time, the specialty vehicle division and the accessibility enhanced division were one together. And it was basically a lot of talented people who were really good at customizing vehicles. Over the years, those two, if you want to call them divisions, were split apart. And when I came on board to Winnebago, I had the specialty vehicle division, and the accessibility enhanced was still handled in another area of the company. But they still had that same set of core competencies where customizing a vehicle from scratch was really what these guys did. So over the course of the last few years, kind of been my push to get these two divisions within Winnebago back together. So I've been pontificating and strategizing how can we possibly get these back together. And when Ashish Bhattacharya, our VP of Strategic Planning and Development, came on board, he kind of saw the vision too. So he was instrumental in helping us get these two divisions back together. So long story short, we get to about a year ago, we actually get these two divisions back together, and we start looking at the accessibility enhanced platforms that we were building, and they were completely customized vehicles. So we would order a vehicle from the motorhome plant, essentially, but it would be incomplete when we would receive it. So then we would start our customization however the customer needed for their mobility or disability challenges that they'd have within the vehicle. And after we got looking at this platform, we figured out that 25, 30 years of experience that we had doing this, we could create a platform vehicle that could satisfy, that 60 to 70% of the market who is looking for this type of vehicle. It won't be a one size fits all, that's for sure, because everybody who has a mobility challenge has a different mobility challenge. But that's essentially how we kind of came together with the product line.
Before the two divisions came together, you guys were essentially making made-to-order accessibility enhanced
correct
vehicles. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So for almost 40 years, it was a complete custom one-off vehicle. So the individual would contact Winnebago either through their local dealer, or maybe they'd call Winnebago directly, and they would get paired up with Sonia Kobrigger, who's our sales specialist that handles these vehicles. And she would work through the entire design of the vehicle with the customer from start to finish so that they had everything just the way they needed it. And it was fantastic. But we were only able to do about 10 to 15 of those coaches per year just because of the intense work that needs to be done to customize them completely. And it's daunting. I mean, it's like building a new house. Some people are really interested in that, and some people are just completely afraid of building that new house. And they're uncomfortable with that, or potentially they don't have the amount of time that it takes to complete that vehicle, because it does take anywhere from 6 months to 12 months to complete a customized vehicle for us.
I didn't realize that. How long have you guys been making the accessibility enhanced vehicles?
We've got history of this going back almost 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah. We've been doing it a long time. A lot of experience, probably more experience than anyone else in the industry that might be trying to do this. And it was, just a good program to make sure that we were meeting the needs of the customers that couldn't make use of our RVs as we typically produce them.
That's good to know. I just recently heard about the accessibility enhanced vehicles because you guys are now making them dealer stock. I guess you guys have been maybe promoting it a little bit more than you did before. I mean, was it always easy to know that Winnebago was making these types of vehicles?
No, it was probably our best kept secret in a lot of ways. And to that, some of that is our own fault. We didn't do a good job of marketing these vehicles. Sometimes you literally had to stumble upon it to figure out that we existed. And most of that would come through our website. People would find us through our website. They'd see something, or maybe they might get a referral, see something out in the wild that we had produced. And a few dealers of ours were proficient in making sure that people knew that option was available. But a lot of people just weren't aware of it. Yeah. So when we did our product launch back in January, we did a lot of marketing along with it. We wanted to announce to the world that we're doing this because the world didn't know.
Was it an increase in demand on the special orders, or was it you guys figured out over the years, we have this model that could satisfy, I think you said 60 to 70% of the people needing accessibility enhanced RVs. So let's build them this way and market them to that audience. What was the thinking behind?
I would say both. The people who have been doing the customization of these vehicles, they've been running at capacity for the last few years. We noticed that there was definitely a strong market for the business that we were doing full customization. But at the same time, we also noticed that we have this certain segment of population who, like I said before, they're not interested in that long journey to customize a vehicle. They're happy with something that might be close enough to meet their needs, if you want to call it that. Or we have, like the Rosenbaums that we met about a year ago. They literally did not have that much time with Steven Rosenbaum to be with us to make that trip. So he needed a product, a solution very quickly.
And now that you are offering the dealer stock, is the fully customized version of this gone? Or can people still contact Winnebago and still create that fully customized vehicle?
Absolutely. We're still going to offer the fully customized vehicles just because we're not going to meet everybody's needs with our stock floor plans. There's people who might need a sling to be able to, a track system on the ceiling to get from one end of the coach to the other, or they might require some type of different lift to get in and out of the vehicle, or some other type of feature that that really makes it much more conducive to travel for them. So there's a myriad of different little things that we do to these vehicles, but we could never stop doing our full customizations.
In the dealer stock or the production models of these, how many floor plans and models are there available to choose from?
So currently we've got 3, and they're all Class A products. And the Class A's are typically a little bit more lenient when it comes to floor plan design for being able to move throughout the coach. For obvious reasons, it's a bigger coach, got the 102-inch wide body. So we just look through that on a yearly basis when our product planners come out with their floor plans for the year. We do an analysis of which floor plans will most likely be a good fit for an accessible coach, and then we kind of target those. So we targeted kind of an entry level, a mid-tier, and then a higher end coach for our lineup. So the 3 floor plans that we currently offer, the entry level is the Intent 30R, and then we've got the mid-tier Adventure 30T, and then we've got the higher end Forza, which is a rear diesel, in the 34T floor. So two Class A gas products and 1 Class A diesel.
I like that Forza 34T.
Yeah, it's my favorite diesel pusher.
It's and surprisingly, it's our most well-received accessibility coach that we have right now. When we did the product launch at Tampa, we thought, going into the product launch that the Adventurer was going to be our strongest showing one. And it turned out the Forza actually stole the show down there at Tampa. So we were pleasantly surprised. That doesn't mean that the Adventure is a bad floor plan. The people just gravitated towards the Forza for some reason, which was great. We were happy.
Yeah, that 34T has a very home-like feel to it with the fireplace and the TV setup. I'm not sure does all that remain when it becomes the accessibility enhanced?
So yes and no. So on the 34T specifically, we actually have to remove the fireplace. Okay. So where the fireplace and the TV typically are in the 34T, that's where our roll-up door, our powered roll-up door, and our wheelchair lift go. So then we reposition the TV to across from the galley, and we lose the fireplace. So you lose the fireplace in that situation, but you're gaining all of the other amenities.
Okay. And I saw something actually that I would like to see maybe even in all of your your Class A's is that you have I guess maybe you could call it a trapdoor that comes down and covers the stairwell and increases the floor space. I thought that would be great for all Class A's. I don't know if that's something that maybe we could get into everywhere.
Yeah, that's not a bad suggestion. I know our product planners have been over and taken a look at that since we've been doing that for the last few years and really got some attention with it just recently. So I know that they're looking at that. But yeah, that stepwell cover, it's simple and it does the job. You know, it's a fantastic piece there to print. Keeps people from falling into the stepwell.
Yeah. Well, I just liked it too. I just thought it made it every little bit helps in an RV.
Absolutely.
And when that's covered, it does look and makes it appear that you have more floor space than you just did a couple seconds ago.
Right. Exactly.
Can you walk us through a little bit of the development of the RVs? I know that you said you've been doing this for 40 years, and just how is the research collected so that you guys know what needs to be in the RVs? Sure.
Yeah. So the interesting fact is that for the last 25 years, Sonia has been our subject matter expert, being our sales application designer, marketing product planner. She's done everything associated with this product line. So we've got 25 years of experience. So basically, we just needed to tap into Sonia's psyche and extract that data. She really does have more information than anybody that I know in the industry when it comes to how do we provide solutions for people that are going to work for most, knowing that we're not going to cover everybody. And she's been a fantastic resource for us. I really can't say anything other than Sonia's got 25 years of voice of customer in her head. And then looking at her body of work that she's done over those years, all of the vehicles that she's worked on, she's just a fantastic resource.
Yeah, that's really helpful, having somebody that has 25 years of experience doing this to be able to provide the input on what's going to work for not all but most of the customers' needs.
Exactly. Yeah. If we were to be going into this blindly at this stage of the game, it would be such a steep learning curve trying to figure out the nuances of how a person moves through a coach. In a wheelchair, how they might move differently in a wheelchair versus a power chair, or how they might move differently in a walker. And Sonia has all that information. She can go through a coach and she can identify where we need to put grab rails just based on experience, which is something that it's fantastic for us.
I have a quick question back on the floor plans. We had mentioned the 34T. So inside the 34T, would there be different options available for those different types of situations? If somebody's in a power chair compared to a wheelchair compared to maybe just a walker?
Well, when we talk about our stock floor plans that we've come up with our pre-designed floor plans, those are made to kind of encompass all of that, as many different mobility challenges that one might have. And the Forza 34T definitely is our most open floor plan. It has the widest hallway, has the largest bathroom area. The galley area, the living room area has the most room of freedom to move around in, and the bedroom area. We do some modifications to the bedroom area to make it more accessible from a chair or a power chair. Kind of all depends on exactly what you've got for equipment. But yeah, the 34T is kind of that all-encompassing floor plan that really, that's why it generated so much buzz at our product launch.
The vehicle, the 34T Forza body is the exact same. There's no adjustments to the width or the height or anything like that.
Correct. Yeah. All the modifications that we make are inside the coach or underneath the floor in the case of the plumbing for the shower. So yeah, from the exterior, unless you've got a really really fine eye for detail when you're going down the road, you wouldn't know this vehicle from anything different from a Forza 34T. That looks the same. We do the powered roll-up door, but we still do the custom paint that blends in with the rest of the body. So it doesn't look like somebody cut a garage door on the side. It looks like it is part of the vehicle, which is kind of one of those stealth factors that people kind of like. It's not calling attention to the vehicle,
right?
Until they open the door and the wheelchair lift comes out.
Yeah,
I bet you that's actually a big plus for most people. My aunt was confined to a power wheelchair. And she always felt like she felt the most normal, I guess you could say, in a movie theater, because everybody was seated for those 2 hours just like she was. And she didn't stand out for those 2 hours. I would imagine that this is a big plus also for the RVs, that, like you're saying, the RV doesn't scream accessibility enhanced.
Right, correct. Yeah, yeah. And that's a great story, a great correlation that you bring up there, Kenny.
I would think the toughest area to make accessibility enhanced would be the bathroom. Was that kind of the toughest challenge, or what, if not, what was the toughest challenge?
Yeah, so the bathroom, that would be right up there with being the toughest. And a lot of that depends on the existing floor plan. And we're going to start working our way towards maybe a little bit more of a floor plan designed for accessibility enhanced as we move this product line and develop it and build this market out. So yeah, we struggle a little bit with the bathrooms, making sure that we find the right model of vehicle that we get the most space that we can out of that bathroom. And it's, that's always a challenge. The Forza 34T, I mean, that has a ginormous bathroom. Everybody loves it. They walk into that and it's more like a European spa than anything else. And we make as many considerations as we can when we design for the adventure and when we design for the intent. We make those spaces as large as possible, and we have been well received on the size of those. But yeah, when you step into the Forza, it's a big bathroom.
So would you consider the bathroom then to be the standout feature for the customers?
I think the standout feature for the customer, the initial wow factor, is obviously the wheelchair lift. Being able to get up in the coach. That's probably the biggest eye opener. People can realize that I don't have to do anything different about the position of my body to get in the vehicle. I can just roll in, and that's probably the biggest selling point. Then we get into the other features of the coach. The bathroom is a big feature because a lot of people, when they travel, using restroom facilities, using public restroom facilities, are not always the most pleasant or the most convenient. They're not. Even though that we're supposed to be living in a world of ADA compliance, and when we travel throughout, if we look at a gas station or we look at a public rest area, something like that, when we're traveling, they're still not exactly, the most user-friendly services to offer. When we can offer that inside their own living space, that makes a big difference to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that's huge.
And you had mentioned the lift. I like the lift idea also because I'm thinking, I guess the lift takes up less space than a ramp would. So when you're parked at a campground or a campsite, the lift only needs to come out so far because it's literally just, a smaller footprint, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So, a couple advantages of the lift versus a ramp. Obviously, if you were to have a ramp, you need to have that right angle, the correct angle for departure and being able to get up and down out of the vehicle. And that would equate to a very long ramp. In most cases, to be able to get to that floor height. Where the wheelchair lift, yeah, exactly right. It folds up within about 12 inches of the wall when it's stowed inside the vehicle. When it's deployed, it only comes out about 5 feet. You still need, a little bit of room there to get your chair or whatever type of device that you're operating in. So you need about 10 feet on either side of the vehicle, or on the passenger side of the vehicle in this case, to maneuver. But yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, it makes a big difference. And then obviously you're going straight up in the air instead of coming in at an angle. And yeah, you don't have to worry about having to have a power chair. You can use it with a walker. You can use it with a non-powered chair very easily.
Yeah, I would imagine it makes it easy for everybody to use.
In one of my previous jobs, I traveled with a large national medical survey, and we would bring 4 53-foot trailers in and set up like a medical clinic to do research on people. And so we had to be accessibility enhanced, and we did have a lift on one of the trailers that would allow people in wheelchairs to get in and out of the clinic. And it didn't really take up much of a large footprint at all. I mean,
right.
It's really easy to operate, and you didn't need a lot of space around it to be able to use it. So
right. Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's a great point.
How about up front in the cab area, Jamie? Is there any enhancements made to the driver's side or the passenger side?
So depending on the specific requirements of the people who are going to be in the vehicle, we can do a couple different things there. So depending on your level of disability or your level of mobility, we have some people that can drive. We have customers that just prefer to ride in the passenger seat, and we've got customers who won't ride in either seat. So in some cases, we're able to put in a chair lock in the passenger seat. So basically, we would delete the passenger seat, put a
Okay,
chair
nice.
lock in so that they could ride in that position. And then when it comes to the driver's position, it depends on what that level of mobility is. We can partner with a third-party company to do hand controls. We have in the past, but we don't offer that directly from Winnebago. That's not exactly in our wheelhouse, because once you put the hand controls in, it basically limits that vehicle to being only a hand control vehicle.
So then it's possible for a person in a wheelchair to travel alone in the RV, really, if they just get a couple of extra modifications done for the drivability, like the controls and all the other switches and all that stuff is all accessible.
Yeah, I would say that the possibility is there depending on the individual. In our experience, we usually see people traveling in pairs. At least there's, if it's a husband and wife or something like that.
And then are these vehicles produced on the same line as all the other RVs, or did you guys have to build a separate division for these to come down?
So when we put the order in the system, we put the order in the system with every other Forza, Adventurer, and Intent. So they go through the same initial phases of production that all the other coaches do. So they go through our chassis prep building, they go through the motorhome plant. The difference being when they come out of the motorhome plant, they've had some features either deleted or modified or added to the vehicle, and then it'll come to us as an incomplete vehicle. So there'll be some features that are missing, like in the case of the 34T Forza, the fireplace and the TV will be missing. Then we'll reposition that in the coach where it needs to go. We typically have a couple walls left out for the bathroom so that we can modify the bathroom area. After it leaves the motorhome plant, then it comes over to our shop where we work on it in a stall. So then from that point on, it's stall built.
Okay. And your shop is also Forest City?
Yes. Yep.
You guys are all...
Yep, we're all located on the same campus.
Okay.
What's the easiest way for a customer to find an accessibility enhanced vehicle on a dealer lot?
So that's a really good question. So we're in the process right now of building out that dealer channel and trying to figure out exactly where we position these vehicles. Having these vehicles on every dealer lot in every state doesn't make sense, just because of the scale of the market. So we're working with some initial targeted dealers in some targeted locations around the country. And we're going to have a dealer locating feature to our website so that when you go to our website, you'll be able to locate that dealer and locate their inventory based on where you're at in the country. So hopefully you can find somebody that's close to you, or we can, if you call into us, we obviously pair you with the information that you need, or you can visit your local dealer and they will help assist. So it's one of those things that we're slowly building out, and over about the next month or so, we should have that pretty well defined. So
anyone can really go to a dealer that stocks Winnebagos and ask the question?
Yes, should be able to. Yep, absolutely.
Okay. And then warranty-wise, Jamie, I guess these are coming with the same factory warranty that the 34T would or anything else does?
Correct. Yep. Same warranties. Yeah. So the an Intent Adventurer have the same warranty that the regular Adventurer and Intent would have. The Forza has the same diesel warranty that we offer right now. So 3-year, 100,000-mile warranty on the Forza.
I'm retired military, and I think about all the disabled veterans that we have now from the Gulf War and the war in Afghanistan. And I think this is a great product because a lot of those veterans, there's a lot of military people that RV when they retire. This really offers an opportunity for the disabled veterans to get into RVing. I don't know what it is about military and RVing, but there's a lot of us out there that do it. So I think it's great you guys are putting this product out there like in production instead of people having to, wait that 12 months or whatever to be able to do it.
Yeah. So interesting that you would mention that. There actually is some funding available for veterans for these types of vehicles. So they would contact their local VA. And I believe that program is handled on a state-by-state level. But there is some additional money that they can get as a veteran towards these vehicles.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
And if people wanted to get an idea of what these vehicles looked like, do you guys have the specs and the photos on Winnebago website right now?
Yeah, yep. If you go to winnebagoind.com, you can click through to our specialty vehicles and our accessibility enhanced vehicles. And each accessibility enhanced model has its own page with all of the floor plan information, the colors, has a 360-degree walkthrough series of photos that you can do. So you can see what the interior is like without having to go into a dealer if you want to. And then we've also got product photos available there too.
That's perfect. We'll add that in our show notes then. We'll put a link that goes directly to that.
Great.
So before we let you go, Jamie, is there anything else that you would like to add to the conversation or anything that you think that Sean and I might have missed?
Actually, I think you did a great job of covering a lot of the information. And I couldn't thank you guys enough for bringing me on your podcast and letting me talk about this. It's something that Winnebago, we've been doing this for a long time. Obviously, I've said that a few times in this podcast, but to get the word out so that people know, the overwhelming response that we've had since we've made our product launch, we've had so many people that have come forward and said, I didn't know you did this. I need more information. I've got a friend or a relative who would absolutely love to have one of these vehicles. So it started the conversation with a lot of different people that we don't normally reach. So having this type of exposure on your podcast is just fantastic for us, and I can't thank you guys enough.
Yeah, I think this is awesome that you guys are providing this, and I think you're going to make a lot of people happy with it.
I agree with that too. Yeah, it's a great service to allow more people to enjoy RVing, I think.
Yeah, and that's our mission. Our mission is to get people out there and have experiences that they may have never been able to experience otherwise.
Well, we want to thank you for coming on, Jamie, and helping us walk through this process of how everything's put together and giving us all this great information. Sean and I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure, guys. Thanks a lot, Kenny. Thanks, Sean.
A big thanks to Jamie for coming on the show. These accessibility enhanced RVs are going to propel the RV lifestyle for many more people. Go over to Winnebago Industries and look at these new vehicles. We will have all the links in the show notes. As always, thanks for tuning in, and be sure to leave a review on the platform you are listening to us on.
This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety, so go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.